Good afternoon, live from Kbev Studios in Beverly Hills High School. Welcome to the 2018 Senior Debate. Today's debate is hosted by Kbev, Highlights, and ASB. The participants today are candidates for next year's Senior President, Vice President, Treasurer, and Representative. The questions were created by ASB, Highlights, and Kbev and have not been shared with the candidates. I am Noah Danesh from Kbev.
I am Maya Yosef, Hydro President.
And I am Jason Harvard, Editor-in-Chief of Highlights. And we are your moderators for today's debate.
We will begin with Wesley Wu and Rebecca Newman. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will begin with your opening statements and then move on to questions. So whenever you're ready, we're going to start with Rebecca. You have 30 seconds.
Okay. Hi guys, if you don't already know me, my name is Rebecca Newman, and I feel that through all my extracurriculars and experiences with the student body that I can bring a fresh perspective to ASB this coming year. Being an outsider to ASB only makes me more determined and more passionate in bringing new ideas and becoming your senior president. My main goal is to make our last year in high school the best that it can be. This means planning more bonding events such as movie nights on the field, a senior bonfire, and scavenger hunts. But I also, of course, want to hear your thoughts and opinions. At the end of the day, I just know that I can make senior year the best one yet.
Very good. Now to you, Wesley.
Good afternoon. My name is Wesley Wu, and I'm running for senior president. I believe I would be a great senior president because for the past 3 years, I've been ASB, helping plan and create many successful events like Homecoming Tailgate, Winter Informal Color Wars, and the most recent UCLA Blood Drive. I believe with all these 3 years of experience, I'll be able to help plan new ideas, new events that any of my peers would like. Talk about a few of my goals. One of my goals is to at least improve communication. I think improving communication between ASB, the students, and administration will better create less resentment and also create a happier environment at our school.
Very good. Thank you guys very much. So we'll start off with Maya.
Yeah, I'll start with the first question. So guys, there are a lot of people at Beverly that aren't involved in anything on campus. They just come to school and leave. How do you plan to get input from them and get them to come to events and participate in school activities?
Okay. Well, I think that the main goal and the main way to get people to come to our events is to actually plan events that the student body wants. And I think the best way to communicate with them would be through maybe doing surveys, sending it out through the whole school, or also a lot of people aren't on their phones. So one important thing is to have word of mouth and actually make sure that people involved in ASB are talking to their friends and telling everyone who they know and really getting feedback on the events that we're thinking of or ideas to even start new events.
I think that it is a constant problem at ASB, making sure that every single person in our school knows about ideas. I think that there's not really one simple solution, but there are many solutions that can hopefully lead us to a better goal and better solution. And one of those goals, I think, is to really advertise, right, and to really go face-to-face with people, and sometimes also send out like Google link forms and also flyers to make sure that everybody knows, as well as get people's input in different events to make sure that people knows that ASB is there for them and really planning events and executing events for those people.
This is a question specifically for Wesley. You've been president of your class for 3 years now. Why are you running for a 4th time? And then a follow-up to that, what do you hope to accomplish that you have not in those past 3 years?
The reason I'm running again for senior president is because I think that every year is a new year to plan more better events. And I think that by becoming senior president again, especially since our last year, I think with all my experience, I can hopefully create better events as well as sometimes lead other events like UCLA Blood Drive, because one of the ASB members, Maya Yosef, she's leaving next year for college. So hopefully I can take charge of the UCLA Blood Drive and plan for that event. And could you repeat your follow-up question?
My follow-up question is, what have you not accomplished in these past 3 years that you would like to do in this 4th year?
Yeah, I think that something that I really want to strive for next year is to really improve communication, because I think that even though we have improved in this year planning out many ASB events, I still think that there are a lot more steps to take to making sure that everybody knows events and are willing to come to those events.
And so now for Rebecca, you specifically, you haven't been on ASB for the past 3 years. So why do you think you'll be able to jump in and be ready to be a senior president?
Well, although I haven't been in ASB, I actually look at it as an advantage rather than a disadvantage. I'm coming, if I do get into ASB next year, I'm coming with new energy, new ideas, and passion. I've also had a lot of leadership experience, although it hasn't been with ASB specifically. I've been on leadership boards in the past at other schools, which I've helped plan events and promote them and just basically act as a leader and assign committees to different people. So I know that I can bring all of my skills and leadership skills to Beverly as well.
Bye.
Okay, so how do you guys think that we can aid students coming into Beverly that haven't been in the 4 middle schools in the past, and how do we better their transition?
I think that for ASB, we really need to create events that are for bonding events for their grade specifically. So hopefully we can create for seniors, we can hopefully create some more bonding events so that not only will we be inviting just people who have been in the BHUSD district, but also outsiders to make sure that they come and interact with more people. So I think really need the input of those people as well as create more bonding events.
And I think that, of course, it's hard for new people because they're coming to a new school with new people. They haven't been to the middle schools in the past and haven't formed those friendships. So I want to be able to create events where, again, like Wesley said, like bonding events where people can meet other people. I know a lot of the time we don't know a lot, the majority of the, or not the majority, but a lot of the people in our grade. So events like I mentioned earlier, like movie nights on the field or a senior bonfire will help people to get to know each other and really feel comfortable in our school and look forward to going to Beverly every day.
I think something you have both been mentioning a lot is planning events and having events. Outside of planning events, like something that has nothing to do with planning events, what is ASB's most important function?
I think that ASB's most important function is basically to get people to enjoy coming to school every day. Of course, all of us are stressed. We all have our APs, our classes, extracurriculars, but I want people to be able to feel comfortable in our school. I want people to wake up in the morning and know that they're going to have a good day rather than just be filled with stress. So I think one of the most important things, even if it's not through specific events, is just to spread school spirit all around school. Come to school with a smile on your face. Honestly, smiles are contagious. People would be happy if you're happy. So, yeah.
I think that ASB should really represent what the students want and what the students need. So, for example, this year, ASB class talked to one of the vice principals, assistant principals, about how the fences are being put up. I think that's really important to make sure that any problems at our school need to really find a way to be filtered into the administration. So by having ASB there, we can hopefully create a communication line so that any problems or anything that people want to know will be asked through ASB.
So Wesley, that brings up a good question that I was actually going to ask is how are you both going to work with administration to specifically with specific steps make sure that the ideas that the student body has will be implemented and in a timely manner, because we may have something that may happen in a while, but what will you do to make sure it happens immediately? So Rebecca, we'll start.
Well, I think that a lot of the time people don't actually think that their ideas are being taken under consideration. So that's one thing that I would want to change. And so if someone or one of my friends or just anyone from the senior class came to me with an idea or a recommendation, I would make sure to work closely with admin to see if their recommendation could be a reality. And I think it's really important to make the students know that they do have a voice and that I will be there ready to listen, and basically just take it to admin, take it to the teachers, take it to everyone to make sure that I'm doing the best of my ability to make their ideas into reality.
I think also really important to really meet up with the assistant principal who works with ASB. So this year it's it was Mr. Reagan, it's now Mr. Stewart, and like working with him to make sure that all the activities we plan are approved and are like safe. So I think having more meetings with him. So currently I help out on the commissionerships, which is the activity and events commissioner. I talk to Mr. Stewart a lot and make sure that all the events that we plan are safe and that there's no conflicts with any administration meetings or teacher meetings.
And then I think this may be the last question. In that process of taking from ideas to events, there is obviously, as you said, an administrator who has to approve things. And I know a common gripe among ASB members is that a lot of things are not approved. So what are specific steps that you guys can take as senior president to try to reconcile anything that the administrator says is bad, and how would you go about doing that?
I think that first off, assistant principals are there to keep us safe. And of course, sometimes they can be like obstacle in our way, but we really need to work with them. So I think that by having some more like forums, open forums next year, beginning the school year, so that we can actually plan out events and just talk, because I think the best way to really find a solution is just talking. So making sure that any students who are really passionate about any events talk with the administration and really find out how they can plan or execute an event that's in a safe and agreeable way.
I think that at the end of the day, if admin doesn't approve of an event, it's because they're looking out for us and the safety of our students, which of course all of us want. So I think one way to overcome that is if you propose an event to admin and there's one specific part of it that they don't necessarily approve of, you can communicate with them and you can address all of their problems and actually come up with solutions rather than just discarding them. You can say, okay, instead of this, maybe we can try this instead, if that's okay. So basically just being able to communicate is going to be the key goal in this.
Very good. Well, to the presidential candidates, thank you guys very
Thank you,
much. You guys
guys.
did
Thank you.
fantastic. We're now going to call up the vice presidential candidates.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. So Maya, while the vice presidential candidates come up, can you again tell me what is their main role?
Well, it's just gaining input and feedback from the students and talking to clubs and making sure that there's a good relationship between clubs and ASB and just making sure everybody's voice is heard is the main goal.
Perfect.
Yes.
So we have our 4 candidates up here now. We're going to start with your 30-second opening statements, and we will start on this side.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out to the senior debate. My name is Tyra Mai, and I'd love to be the senior vice president. I'm running for this position because I'd love to be of assistance to not just the senior president, but to ASB as a whole and to the student body. After spending 3 years here at BHHS, I've had the pleasure of participating in many fun activities here. These activities were so fun and were once started by previous students, and they're what inspired me to even run. I've heard many times that the school spirit here isn't the best, so that I hope that with my new ideas, I'll be given the opportunity to strengthen the relationship between us all.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Thomas Gu, a cool junior who's running for senior VP. Being involved in numerous ASB activities such as fundraiser, call awards, and clubs, I have learned vast amount of knowledge and experience on how ASB makes schools an enjoyable place while students are facing tremendous amount of academic pressures. The most practical way to improve ASB is to listen to students' opinions and comments on the past ASB activities. And I think the major goal for ASB is to make students feel safe and happy in the campus. As running for senior VP, I will try to make the class of 2019 to feel the most enjoyable and impressive year in the last high school year. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Ava Hikmati, and with senior year approaching, I've made it my goal to make next year one of the best years for all of us. And if elected, I hope to broadcast and apply the ideas that I and others around me want to see at Beverly. For example, next year I want to throw more fundraisers in order to have a cheaper graduation experience, and also I have an idea to have a senior time capsule. In addition, in terms of leadership, I believe that throughout my past 3 years at Beverly, I fully acquired the experience to represent our senior class. For example, through my experience in Cookies for Cancer, a club that donates money to cancer research, and the California Association of Student Councils, I've gained enough leadership to represent our class. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Charlene Kay, and I am running to be your senior vice president. As vice president, I will put in 100% of my effort and dedication into making sure the voices of the student body are heard. If given this amazing opportunity, I will make sure to make my last year one of the best years yet. I have many ideas for new events, such as movie night, like Rebecca said, senior picnics with the whole grade, and planting a new vegetable garden, possibly coordinated with culinary. Working side by side with clubs and administration to ensuring to improve our school environment and making BHHS a safe, fun, and educational place for students to attend and enjoy every day.
Thank you, guys.
So I'll start with the first question. So you guys are all not currently in ASB, and so you guys have a new outside perspective on like what we do. From your guys' eyes, what would you say is like ASB's, like what can we do to improve from your perspective, and what specific examples would you guys bring to the table next year?
Okay. So I think the major problem for ASB so far is like we don't have enough people to get involved in different events. So I think, as I said before, the major goal is for people is to bring more people to the event and like make them feel safe in the campus. So I think the way to bring more people to the event is to like notice them and then by like something like normal updates. And then we can also encourage some teachers to play the normal updates in their class. Since when I was a freshman, I did not know what ASB actually is, and a bunch of school events. So I think the best way to improve is like more students get involved.
One thing, well, there are already so many, like you guys already promote everything. You guys do Jupiter, you guys do announcements, Kbev. So maybe one problem I think is kids, like whenever there's an event going on at lunch, they tend to forget. And then by the time like lunch is nearly over, they remember. And so maybe we can start doing announcements before lunch starts to just give people that like second reminder that there's an event going on, because I feel like a lot of students, instead of wanting to do the same thing every single day, like eat lunch, talk with their friends, they would be very excited to go to an event and like do something different.
Yeah, and in addition, like a lot of the times, I think communication is one of the biggest things that ASB needs to work on, because a lot of the times I would see a problem in our school and I'd tell Wesley, I'd be like, Wesley, work on that. But instead I want to be like, I want to actually like be able to like implement and take in others' ideas. Like for example, like I want to start like a suggestion box where people can actually like put in the ideas they have, and ASB will actually like, take into consideration the rest of the grade's opinion and apply it into different activities.
I think ASB has been amazing this year, but one possible way of improving ASB would be informing students who might not be as informed as others in our grade and in our entire school. I'm a member of DECA, and we have a system called Using a Remind app, and they constantly text us through the app. So one possible way of informing students that might not be as informed or as well informed of what ASB is, we can use this app and let them know what's going on and what possible events are coming up soon.
I asked this question to the last group, but this is something I want to hear from you guys as well. Outside of planning events, what is ASB's most important function?
Okay. Outside of planning events, I think ASB should listen to all the voices and all the suggestions being said in the school. I know that you guys are doing an amazing job doing this already, but I know that some kids don't really know what's going on with the school. I didn't really know what was going on in the school until mainly this year. I think that we can also work with many teachers and principals to help plan these events and help knowledge our students.
Thank you.
So ASB, it stands for Associated Student Body, and basically it means like that we're all like a family kind of together. And so I think ASB's main goal is to kind of incorporate that idea into our daily lives and make it genuinely feel like that we are a family, and that each person feels comfortable coming to school every day, and each person has something to look forward to and like is excited to wake up in the morning because there's an event at lunch or like a spirit day, and that to just make ASB unite our grade as a whole.
So as I said before, the major goal for ASB is to make students feel safe and happy in the campus as well when they're facing different academic pressure. So I think that for ASB to actually improve the school, I think is to organize more events and like notice them in different ways, like posters, normal updates, news, all kind of things to notice the student to know that how ASB is working and how ASB is improving the schools. Thanks.
And I think the main responsibility of ASB is, even though you may not be in the class, I feel like ASB, every student who goes here is technically part of like a big family. So I feel like the job of ASB is basically just to create events that will get many students to interact with each other and meet new people. And yeah.
Very good. So a major part of a theme of our student government is transparency and accountability. So what is one systematic program you guys would put in place in ASB that would really make ASB more transparent to the student body, and one specific program that you would implement? So we'll start with you, Charlotte.
One specific program I would implement would probably be help improving our social media, because I know almost everyone in our school now has social media, and it's a widely used technology. So having a page with not just events or not just what to do, but also with new things that are happening in our school, new problems that we have to face, things that are going on with admin, other schools in our district, informing everyone about what is going on and making sure that everyone follows it and can read about it.
So to clarify on that, you're going to basically put a new channel, a new social media channel that will be dedicated to transparency updates, basically.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So one goal that I have to increase the transparency at our school is to have a weekly forum where members of ASB can come together with club presidents, different teachers, and they can all come together and share their ideas, say a question they have to improve their club, and ASB will be able to implement their ideas, or ASB will be able to state their ideas that they have for the upcoming month, so more people can be informed and ASB can help with their leadership experience to other students.
And to clarify on that, so it would be a forum that anyone can come to and they can ask about anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that ASB has a club coordinator commissionship, so I think the club coordinator should actually tells the clubs to give suggestions from the students and the club members about how ASB will work, and then listen to students' opinions. And furthermore, I think Beverly Hills High School is not just a place, it's also the people. People's suggestion is pretty important for us. As Charlene brought out, social media is also a pretty important way to get people involved, since it becomes a pretty popular app for everyone. So I think social media and all kind of things will be good for improving ASB.
In order to improve the transparency between ASB and the students, I totally agree with the idea of having maybe every 2 weeks we have a meeting after school, because the school may have board meetings every week, but there's not really that kind of meeting for students. So I feel like maybe before major decisions made, or even every 2 weeks, we can give the opportunity to any student who's here, or teachers or parents, and they can just attend the meeting and hear about the upcoming events.
Cool. So based on what you guys were saying, how will you guys hold yourselves accountable in ASB? Because it's easy to just say these things, but how will you make them positive that they will happen?
In order to make this all happen, I feel like we should get everyone in ASB on board, because there will be 30 students, and so we can all work together to make this happen, and everyone knows other people. So in ASB, each individual person can say an announcement in their class, and just give these announcements and just try to inform as many people as they can about the things that will happen.
So I will try to reach out more students from different grade level, randomly to select them randomly to avoid some bias, just in case some students are they don't like the school sometimes for other reasons. So I think I will ask all kind of people from different grade level and different clubs, so they get different opinions, so you decrease the bias chances. So since nothing can be perfect, I accept the criticisms from everyone, the students, so to improve.
So I believe to hold myself accountable, we should have in the beginning of the year, we should write a list of everything we want to accomplish. So throughout the year, you could keep on checking back, making sure you're actually accomplishing your goals, and having others surrounding you to keep on motivating you, and everyone in ASB and outside to be is this still happening? I'm excited for this. And for everyone in the community to just keep on helping others reach their goals for ASB.
Yes, if I am the vice president, I will make sure to hold myself accountable for all of these ideas that are said. I think Ava's idea about the forum was really amazing, and that this meeting would be a great way to let students know about what's going on. But the only problem would be that there might not be as many attendees as we would expect or want. So one way is through Norman updates. I know 3 of my teachers show Norman updates, and it's a great way of me learning new information about ASB, and is my main source of learning what's going on through ASB. So we can let teachers show Norman updates, including the information that we want to present, and also letting teachers spread the word to their students. Yeah.
Great. So we'll have one final question for the vice presidents.
So there's been a lot of agreeing and a lot of ideas that you guys have shared, but this is a debate. So in the spirit of that, what is the one thing that makes you the best candidate on this stage?
We'll start on that side.
I think the one thing that would make me the best for this, for vice president, is that I'm not really scared of being shy or embarrassing myself. I'm down to go up to random students and random freshmen that I don't even know, and just tell them about my ideas and my suggestions. Today I met this guy, and I was like telling him to like vote for me for president, and I just found out that he was a new student to our school, and then I had a good conversation with him, and I became friends with him after he's, yeah.
I personally think that with my association with different groups, like I'm in sports, tennis, swim, I'm in different APs, regular classes, honors classes, clubs, and I feel like being able to associate with all these different people and taking different ideas really allows me to take in all my resources and apply it into ASB as like one like line in the road.
And I think it's personally, I think I'm pretty passionate, optimistic, and easygoing students in a class. And I think since I have taken different APs and different classes, many students were struggling in my classes. So basically, about like 6 classes, I have made my own study guide online on Google Drive, so that people in the class can just use my study guide to like improve the test grade. So I think if they pick me as a vice president, I think I will improve more on helping the academic goals.
And I think I'd be the best candidate because one thing about me is I have perseverance and determination, and I have like a whole list of cool ideas, new ideas that have never been at this school that I would like to implement. So if I won, I would definitely use all my time in ASB dedicated to checking off these events one by one and making each of them a reality. And I hope that these events that happen, they're not just for 1 year. I hope that they continue on as a tradition at this school. And and I have a pretty flexible schedule, so I'll be able to spend extra hours after school.
Very good. Thank you guys to the vice presidential candidates. Great job.
Thank you.
We're now going to call up the treasurer candidates. So while they come up, Jason, great question there. About the debates, what do you think is the one thing you want to come out from these debates?
I definitely want the questions to make people think. I like when they spend kind of the first 5 seconds really trying to create that good answer. We don't want to give them all cupcake questions and allow them to say what they want to say. I think that was kind of the point of this. We want to get past the campaign statement. So I think that's kind of what I was looking forward to in these debates.
Very good, Jason. So now we're going to go to the treasurers. We're going to start with the opening statements, 30 seconds. Brian, we will start with you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian, and I'm running for senior treasurer. And the reason why I'm running for senior treasurer is because I love coming to ASB events. I love it so much. I help out ASB even though I'm not in ASB. For example, for the color wars that Kiana was coordinating, I was there on the weekends during break, helping out, putting up the posters, and climbing on those chairs when Kiana couldn't reach the high tops. And yeah.
All right. Hi, Norman Nation. I'm Kayla Normand, and I'm running to be your next senior treasurer. I believe I'm the best candidate for this position because I'm hardworking, motivated, and I work well with others, and I'm excited to make Beverly a more unified and more spirited community. I also have experience in marketing and managing finances, which are 2 very important jobs of a treasurer. And I look forward to making our senior year the best one yet. Thank you, and remember, the Normans need the Normand.
Very good.
Okay, I'll start off. So in ASB, we work really closely with Trish. She works in the student store. She's like the most hardworking and beautiful person in this entire world.
She is.
So yeah, how will you guys make sure that everything she needs is met promptly, more than just meeting with her and creating like a good budget for your senior class, make cheaper proms and stuff? How will you make sure that like this stuff happens?
I'm the vice president of MSA, so I've been doing purchase orders, so I've worked with Trish before. I really love her. I think that I definitely would want to check in with Trish a lot, whether it's email or in person. I would want to see how I could help her, what she would need, and then just be able to provide whatever she needs in order to keep all of our functions and finances going and moving forward.
In terms of working with Trish, I've also done work with her before. And on top of doing the emails and talking with her in person, and to make sure that we would have times where so we don't just have regular appointments whenever I would need them. We would make sure that we would have appointments either by a weekly or on a weekly or like monthly basis, on a monthly basis, whatever's good with her, so that it would be, so it could be very consistent.
I think, what is the biggest challenge that you see to gaining more money and making senior events cheaper? Like, what do you think is something that you can do to get a head start on that even now or before the year comes in to really get the ball rolling on fundraisers and make the kind of cost of graduation lower than it is currently?
So, I'm in DECA. I've been in DECA for 3 years. I work for their finance. In the finance sector, and one of the ideas I've been bringing up in DECA, and I hope to work with ASB on this too, is that recently with all the security, there's been a hassle in the mornings and during lunches to take out your ID cards every time you go through the gates. So I was planning on either selling and creating a customized BHHS back credit card holder that connects to your phone, so it's a lot easier for people to take out their IDs, and it saves them time and it also brings them money.
I am also in DECA with Brian, and I am also currently working on a fundraiser to help states that have been hit by hurricanes and tornadoes, because we don't have to go through that horrible weather, and I want to be able to get all of our community to help them with whatever they need. So I think fundraisers are definitely important, and a big part of having fundraisers is that we have to be able to get people to actually participate and get them excited, and like we have to make sure that they will actually show up, because you can't have a successful fundraiser if you didn't raise funds.
As to that, again, transparency, going back to that, how will you make sure that the senior class understands what's happening with their money throughout the year, why they're paying for what, and what's going to happen with their money?
I think social media is definitely key, because you're able to reach so many different, like our entire school, just through their phones or computers or email or Snapchat or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever you have. So I think posting updates regularly on what's going on, whether we have a big event coming up or it's just a casual, oh, hey, so this is what's going on. I think it's very important to let all of our students know what we're working on in ASB, so they don't feel left out or like unaware of what's going on.
Kayla, I completely agree with what you're saying there. And social media, I think it's definitely really good to keep in constant contact with the student body. But I think on top of that, and supporting what a previous candidate has said, having those weekly or monthly meetings with the student body inside possibly the tourney, so that we could have face-to-face, and it's more face-to-face conversations on to clarify conversations is very important.
So how would you guys define student government, and like what does it mean to be an elected official to you guys?
I think being an elected official definitely gives you a leadership that a lot of students don't have. I know I haven't been in ASB because it didn't work out with my schedule, but I definitely want to take on a leadership position and be able to lead our senior class. I mean, it is senior year, so it's very exciting. We have a whole bunch of different things like prom and formal and homecoming, whatever else is going on. So I think being an elected official definitely helps give us the ability to reach out to more people and work with the school as well to communicate to our students.
For what Kayla said, for what you said about learning and practicing leadership on this job, but then as an elected, I've already been in elected positions before in Boy Scouts, because I've been in Boy Scouts for 6 years, and I've been a leader in it for 5 of those years, and during that time, then I've already learned what it takes to be a leader in a student or youth run organization, and an elected positioner means that you're a part of the family. You're one of the people that are leading the family. You're not just in the back. So in a family, you would support other people, and that's what I plan to do.
So as much as this is a debate between you two, ASB and just our whole school, we're all very nice to each other, and we want to keep that going. So what is the best thing that you'd say is about the other person on the stage right now? And you guys seem to know each other very well through DECA, so I'm sure you guys know each other's qualities. So what is the best thing about the next person?
One thing I love about Brian actually is that he's hilarious all the time, whether we're in class, whether in the hallway. He's always very enthusiastic. He's very excited. Like when I see him in the hallway, he always gives me a high five. His biggest smile on his face. He sent me a text this morning actually that was really funny, and I think that's one of his best qualities is that he's always positive and he's always able to make other people happy. I think someone else said how smiles are contagious, and Brian's smile is definitely contagious.
I have to say thank you. And Kayla, I would say the same things about all those same things that you said to me, I would say back to you, because you do all those same things back to me, and I think that's why we're such great friends, because great minds think alike.
Well, guys, thank you so much for pointing out your ideas for us, answering our questions. That was the treasurer debate. We're now going to bring up the representative candidate. Thank you guys very much.
Thank
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
So while Kimia comes up, what is the representative's job, Maya?
To improve relationships on our student campus. All types of relationships, getting input, all of that wonderful stuff. And she's ready, so.
Very good. Kimia?
I'll start with the first question, actually. Going off of that.
Oh,
I'm so
let's
sorry
give her the
about that.
opening
Go
statement.
ahead.
Why not? Go ahead, Kimia. Why not? You'll get your 30-second opening statement. Go ahead.
Okay. Kbev highlights an ASB. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. It is with great passion, privilege, and pleasure that I, Kimia submit my application to run for senior representative. With the limited time I have today, I wanted to really emphasize my viewpoint in ASB. I believe that my goal as representative is to really improve student life both on and off campus. With my various experience in leadership, communication, and logistics, I believe I have the resources and the tools to be confident in this position. Also, I look forward to working alongside administration and, most importantly, my senior class in achieving this goal. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
So something we really want in ASB is for students to feel comfortable talking to their teachers and teachers with admin and so on. How would you make kids and teachers feel comfortable voicing their concerns and just talking, creating better relationships with like above? So students with teachers, teachers with admin, even students with admin. Yeah. How would you do that? Yeah.
So I'm a listener at Teen Line, which means that I talk with teens and really people of all ages all over the world. I talk to them about mental health struggles, suicide prevention. I've learned a lot about active listening. I think that active listening is something that teachers and administration should really implement in order to encourage students to speak up. I love how Norman Aid implements Norman Anonymous to get students to talk about their problems. I believe that if administration does the same type of program through another anonymous system, then we can really encourage students to talk more.
Yeah, I think that was interesting talking about your experience with Teen Line and referencing Norman Aid. How can you kind of learn from those about kind of the problems that teens face and that they voice, and then try to prevent that before it happens through ASB?
Yeah, so a lot of teenagers have barriers that prevent them from speaking about their problems. Lots of times that's ethnic, religious, or just really a physical barrier, parents stopping them, teachers preventing them. I think I've learned that the key is really destigmatization. We let students know that they're not the only ones suffering from their problems, and that their problems other students experience as well. So understanding that and implementing that thought from the get-go is really the key in that.
Very good. So one major form of communication that ASB has that was discussed today was the Norman Update. So what is one change or one new thing you would like to add to the Norman Update?
Yeah, I think that the Norman Update is an amazing resource. However, it's not played in my period 1 class, and I have to watch it when I get home every single day. It's something that I'm excited to watch because my brother edits it. But I think really letting teachers know that this is something that really should be broadcasted in class would be really helpful. Additionally, I love how Norman Update has a Kbev member and an ASB member, but maybe opening it up for the students will excite other students and their friends to watch as well.
Thank you.
Cool. So in ASB, we have people that have all sorts of different opinions, like some that are really against some things and some that are really for some things. How will you balance that and keep like a straight-minded vision for what you want and not let anything get in the way of that?
Yeah, I think that my biggest goal as representative is to represent the students. My goal isn't to look at what a treasurer might think or what a president might think, it's what the students think. So having an open mindset to the students, also myself, that would really help me balance those other pressures from other members of ASB.
You're good on questions? Perfect. So I have one final question for you. You are the only one here. Again, you're running unopposed for this position.
Yeah.
Why do you think people should put their trust in you to take on this position?
Yeah, I think what would separate me from someone else is my experience. I'm in 5 different clubs. I created a club. I work in a club that doesn't currently have a sponsor. It's really just the experience that has made me want to become representative. I think there's trust in numbers, and so far I've been quite successful in my extracurriculars and outside experience, so hopefully that would make people feel good.
Great. Thank you so much, Kimia. Thank you for
you.
coming, and thank you to all the candidates for today. You have been watching the senior debate here on kbev6.com and on Channel 6 Spectrum. I want to say a big thank you to my fellow moderators. You guys did fantastic. You can learn more about the candidates with their bios at beverlyhighlights.com, and make sure to vote on Juno for these candidates next week. We will see you on Friday for the final debate of this year, the head row debate. I'm Noah Danesh, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.